Hello students, in the last session you learned about the Reign of Terror. Today we will learn about slavery in France and its colonies, the triangular trade, the condition of slaves and the stages which led to its abolition. Meaning of slavery. Let us first understand what slavery is. Slavery refers to a condition in which individuals are owned by others. This means one person has absolute power over another and controls his life, liberty, and we can define slavery as a legal or economic system in which humans were treated as property. The masters who owned them could buy and sell them accordingly. However, the slaves had no rights and could not withdraw from the arrangement. Once enslaved, the owner had complete authority over the productivity of the slaves' labor. The slaves were not paid for the work they did. It was practiced throughout history. The ancient Greeks, the Romans, Incas and Aztecs all practiced slavery. The triangular slave trade. The slave trade was led by triangular trading system and best known as triangular trading system is the transatlantic slave trade that operated from the late 16th to early 19th centuries. It carried slaves, cash crops and manufactured goods between West Africa, Caribbean or American colonies and the European colonial powers. The use of African slaves was the basis of this slave trade, and it was an important component for growing colonial cash crops which were exported to Europe. In turn, European goods were used to purchase African slaves. The first leg of the triangular trade was from a European port to Africa, in which ships carried supplies for sale and trade such as copper, cloth, trinkets, slave beads, guns and ammunition. When the ship arrived, its cargo would be sold for slaves. On the second leg, ships made the journey of the Middle Passage from Africa to the New World. Many slaves died of disease in the crowded holds of the slave ships. Once the ship reached the New World, enslaved survivors were sold in the Caribbean or the American colonies. The ships were then prepared to get them thoroughly cleaned, drained and loaded with export goods for a return voyage, the third leg to their home port. From the West Indies, the main export was sugar, rum and molasses. From Virginia, tobacco and hemp. The ship then returned to Europe to complete the triangle. Case study: sugar. Now let us take the example of sugar to understand the triangular trade. Molasses, which is the liquid form of sugar, was one of the most important commodities of this trade. Molasses was distilled into rum. The profits from sugar trade were used to purchase manufactured goods. These goods were then taken to West Africa and exchanged for slaves. The slaves thus purchased were then taken to Caribbean islands and sold to the sugar plantation owners. This cycle was completed when the profits earned from the sale of slaves were used to buy sugar to be sent to Europe. The duration of one cycle of this triangular trade took approximately 5 to 12 weeks. Slave trade in the French colonies. Now, let us understand the slave trade in the French colonies. The French began the slave trade in their colonies in the 17th century. The colonies were in the Caribbean, Martinique, Guadeloupe and San Domingo. These colonies were important suppliers of commodities such as tobacco, indigo, sugar and coffee. The Europeans did not want to go and work in these distant and unfamiliar lands. This meant a shortage of labor in the plantation areas, which led to the birth of the triangular slave trade between Europe, Africa and the Americas. To buy the slaves from the local chieftains, the French merchants sailed from the ports of Bordeaux or Nantes to the African coast. These slaves were first branded, chained and were packed tightly into ships. These ships then sailed across the Atlantic Ocean to the Caribbean for the 3-month-long voyage. There, these slaves were sold to the plantation owners in the Caribbean. They were forced to work on these plantations to grow sugar, indigo and coffee. Then, these products were carried by ships to the European markets. The exploitation of slave labor resulted in not only meeting the growing demands in European markets for sugar, indigo and coffee, but also led to the economic prosperity of the French port cities like Bordeaux and Nantes. Condition of slaves in French colonies. We can understand the condition of slaves in the French colonies by studying the Code Noir document, which defined the rules, regulations and privileges for the slaves. Code Noir, which were the written rules for the slavery. The Code Noir, that is Black Code, was a decree originally passed by France's King Louis XIV in 1685. The Code Noir defined the conditions of slavery in the French colonial empire, restricted the activities of free Negroes, forbade the exercise of any religion other than Roman Catholicism, and ordered all Jews out of France's colonies. Louis XIV's Code Noir regulated the slave trade and institution in the colonies. It gave unparalleled rights to slaves. It includes the right to marry, to gather publicly or to take Sundays off. Although the Code Noir authorized and codified cruel corporal punishment against slaves under certain conditions, it forbade slave owners to torture them or to separate families. It also forced the owners to instruct them in the Catholic faith, implying that Africans were human beings endowed with a soul, a fact that was not seen as evident until then. This shows the justification of the Europeans being a civilizing force for rest of the world. To maintain their status, the Code Noir also forbade interracial marriages. Separated families. The French slave traders separated the families of the slaves. This broke their spirit as they were community worshippers and forced them to adopt Christianity. The African beliefs were shattered with the breakup of families. The chronological graph of abolition of slavery in French colonies. Now let us look at the stages of abolition of slavery in French colonies. The movement to end slavery was known as abolitionism. The aim of this movement was to free the slaves and to end the African and Indian slave trade. The first step was movement against slavery, Haitian Revolution. The first revolt of the slaves began in 1791 in the largest French colony of Saint-Domingue in the Caribbean. It was led by Toussaint L'Ouverture and came to be known as the Haitian Revolution. This revolution became widespread and led to killings of whites, colored free people as well as slaves. This resulted in abolition of slavery in 1793 in Saint-Domingue by the French Commissioner Sonthonax. The changes were the result of the French Revolution. Second, legislation to free all slaves in French colonies. Throughout the 18th century, there had been little criticism of slavery in France due to profits. Once the French Revolution began, the National Assembly held long debates about whether the rights of man should be extended to all French subjects, including those in the colonies. But it did not pass any laws, fearing opposition from businessmen whose incomes depended on the slave trade. It was finally the National Convention under the control of the Jacobins which in 1794 legislated to free all slaves in the French overseas possessions, that is, in the colonies. Following the fall of Robespierre and the Jacobins, Napoleon Bonaparte, who came to power in France, reintroduced slavery in 1804. Reintroduction of slavery in Napoleonic period. As such, on 20th May 1802, the consulate with Napoleon elected as first consul reintroduced slavery to France and her colonies. Napoleon went on to become sole ruler of France until he was defeated and the monarchy was restored. In February 1848, the government of King Louis Philippe I collapsed and a liberal provisional government declared the Second Republic. 2 months later, the anti-slavery campaigner Victor Schuyler and President of the Commission for the Abolition of Slavery was instrumental in ending slavery in French territories for the second time. Abolition of slavery in France. It is interesting to note that France abolished slavery within the French kingdom in 1315. In 1315, Louis X, King of France, published a decree proclaiming that France signifies freedom and that any slave setting foot on the French crown should be freed. This prompted subsequent governments to limit slavery in the overseas colonies. Revolutionary France abolished slavery in its colonies in 1794 before it was restored by Napoleon in 1802. Haiti achieved independence from France in 1804 and brought an end to slavery in its territory, establishing the Second Republic in the New World. In 1802, Napoleon passed the law of 20th May 1802, which revoked the law of 16 Plouvieres that had ended slavery in all French-held territory. It wasn't too hard for him to revoke the law, as a number of French slave-owning colonies had ignored the law ending slavery altogether. The 1802 law reinstating slavery only affected those colonies that had not followed through with the law ending slavery. So, places like Guyana, which had effectively ended slavery, did not suddenly re-enslave people. Peace treaty between France and British. After Napoleon was defeated and sent into exile, the British attempted to sign a peace treaty with France that ended its participation in the slave trade. The closest they came to a resolution on the matter was a proposal accepted by Talleyrand that France would accept a 5-year window during which time it would gradually wind down its involvement in the slave trade. Imperial Decree of March 29, 1815. However, Napoleon came back from exile to lead France again, and in a bid to make peace with Britain and prevent them from rejoining an alliance against him again, passed the Imperial Decree of March 29, 1815, which abolished the French slave trade. Much like the British 1807 law, the decree did not free slaves or end slavery, but instead ended the transport of new slaves to the colonies. This decree was recognized by the monarchy after Napoleon was defeated at Waterloo and sent into exile for good. Recapitulation. One of the most important factors that come up is that slavery in France was very different than in other countries. The Codenoir decree by King Louis XIV in 1315 appears to be a very progressive and favorable set of laws and rules for slaves in France. Namely, the slaves were given the right to marry, gather publicly, and Sundays off. Another interesting point is that in France itself, slavery was abolished during 1315, but it was practiced in its colonies till 1804. However, the Codenoir also influenced the practice of keeping slaves and their conditions in the colonies. More interestingly, the birth of slavery in France was due to trade and had direct economic impact, as can be seen with the triangular transatlantic trade system. The need for labor in far-off French colonies to work on the plantations prompted the whole slave economy, which the French revolutionary Jacobins used as propaganda to get the support of slaves by promoting abolition of slavery. The Haitian Revolution marked an important event in the history of slavery, as it was the first attempt by slaves to free them. Subsequently, in 1794, a small but short-lived success was achieved in the favor of the enslaved African Negroes in French colonies, when the National Convention legislated to free all slaves in French colonies. This, however, turned out to be a short-term measure. 10 years later, Napoleon reintroduced slavery. Plantation owners understood their freedom as including the right to enslave African Negroes in pursuit of their economic interests. Slavery was finally abolished in French colonies in 1848 after the fall of the government of King Louis Philippe I. In the next lecture, we will learn about the role of women in the French Revolution. Thank you.